If you're in the world of big business, finance, or tech, you've definitely heard of SAP S4 HANA. But today, we're not just going to talk about the system itself. We are going deep, deep inside to uncover the single biggest change to financial accounting in a generation. Okay, let's get into it. Now, this diagram might look a little complex, but what you're really looking at is the central nervous system of a huge company, its digital core. It's where literally everything connects, from sales all the way to the supply chain. But the most amazing innovation, the real revolution, is happening right in its financial heart. So just to set the scene, SAP S4HANA is what's known as an enterprise resource planning, or ERP system. And the big deal here is that it runs on this super fast database called SAP HANA. Now, this isn't just about making things quicker. This new foundation let them completely rethink how data is managed from the ground up. To really appreciate this revolution, you have to understand the problem it was built to solve. See, before S4HANA, financial data was, well, it was a mess. It was incredibly complicated and broken up into little pieces. Let's take a look at why. Okay, imagine you're trying to run a library, but every single subject has its own completely separate catalog. You've got one for fiction, another for history, a different one for science, and none of them talk to each other. So to get the full picture of your library, you'd have to run around and manually check everything against everything else. That's exactly what financial accounting used to be like. And this slide right here shows you the technical reality of that library mess. The numbers for asset accounting, for controlling, for the material ledger, every little piece was stored in its own separate database table. And this forced companies into this really painful, slow, and error-prone process every single month called reconciliation, just to make sure all the different books actually matched up. But what if you could just throw out all those separate, conflicting catalogs and replace them with one single, all-knowing book? Well, that is precisely what SAP did. They created what's called the Universal Journal. And at its core, the Universal Journal, and its technical name is ACDOCA, by the way, is the brand new heart of S4HANA Finance. This isn't just a small upgrade. It's a complete redesign. It takes all those areas that used to be walled off from each other and merges them into one single comprehensive table. And this right here, this is the big aha moment. On the left, you see the old world, complex, separated, a real headache. And on the right, the new world, elegant, simple, unified. This shift from many tables to one single source of truth is the entire foundation of modern finance in SAP. It literally changes everything. So what does this actually mean for a business? Well, first, you get instant insights. I mean, all the data's in one place, so you can ask really complex questions and get answers in real time, not weeks later. Think about spotting a profit drop on a product the day it happens. Second, that painful month-end close process, it just vanishes. It's gone. The system is permanently reconciled by its very design. So finance teams can spend their time analyzing the business, not just adding up numbers. Plus, the whole IT system gets simpler. And a really annoying old technical limit, the 999 line items per document, is finally gone. It's a massive leap forward. Okay, so understanding the idea is one thing, but how does a company actually make this happen in the real world? Let's take a look at the implementation playbook. Well, it's a very structured process. You start by figuring out exactly what the business needs. Then you move into creating a detailed design, which is called a blueprint. That blueprint becomes the guide for all the technical setup. After that, you test it like crazy to find any bugs. And only then, after training everyone, does the system go live. And, of course, there's ongoing support after that. To make that planning and design phase a bit more real, here's a quote from an actual implementation blueprint for the company Tata Steel. This document is like the architectural plan for a skyscraper, detailing everything from the big picture company structure down to the tiny details of how business processes are going to work in the new system. And just to give you a sense of how detailed this gets, this table is pulled right from that blueprint. It's defining how Tata Steel decided to categorize its vendors. So domestic suppliers get a number that starts with a 1, international suppliers get a number that starts with a 2, and so on. Every single business rule has to be mapped out with this level of precision. So when all of this planning and configuration is finally done, what's the ultimate payoff? What's the real impact of having this single source of truth? At the end of the day, the Universal Journal isn't just about a cleaner database or a faster month end. It is a fundamental shift.
It transforms the finance department from being a group that just records history into a source of real-time, forward-looking business intelligence. And that really brings us to our final thought. All those old limitations, they're gone. The conversation is no longer about reconciling what happened last month. It's about making smart decisions for tomorrow. So the real question becomes, with instant, unified data right at your fingertips, what are the strategic business questions about markets, customers, or investments that your business can finally answer right now